Hi, my name is Monica Musonda. I'm the founder and CEO of a company based in Lusaka, Zambia called Java Foods. I started Java Foods in 2012 with the mission of manufacturing nutritious foods made out of locally acquired raw materials. Today, we manufacture a fortified cereal made from corn soy. We manufacture it for NGOs, for schools, with corporates who are doing workforce nutrition. We also now put it in a very nice, colorful carton and put it on a shelf in our retailers, and we call it Super Cereal. Java Foods is also well known for an instant cereal, an instant noodle brand, which we are now the leading brand here in Zambia, called Easy Instant Noodles. So we've been around selling products in this market and hoping to sell into the region for about 8 years now. So COVID has been quite, I don't even know how to say it, quite a shock to our system. We have been growing steadily and gradually as an SME and really expanding our reach and our knowledge in terms of quality and food production and nutrition. And this was the year we felt we were really going to take off. We had a brand new factory. We were looking into certifying the factory, hiring people, really focusing on building a culture for our organization. And to be hit by COVID has really changed everything. We're now talking about survival and less about growth. We're now looking at products which we're able to sell in an environment which is not growing, where the focus now is on food security and nutrition, and less on sort of convenience foods. We live in an environment where people are daily wage earners, and many of them currently are out of work. COVID has really affected people in Zambia in the urban areas, and therefore we're really seeing a crisis around food and nutrition for people in the urban areas. So for us as Java, we have seen a decline in sales, and this has been, I would say, 7 weeks for our leading brand, Instant Noodles, the Instant Noodle brand, which is sold mainly to school children. Schools have now been closed for about 8 weeks, so the sales have gone down almost 30%. But we are seeing now a demand for our fortified cereal, which is really we're talking about immune building, about energy, and things like that. And we are speaking much more to our NGOs and the United Nations organizations to see how we can support efforts around really immunity building around nutrition. But this being said, it's really hurt us in terms of cash flow, and everything around tendering takes time. Around even certification, we're still going through the process with PFS actually to certify our process and our line, and that is taking time. And so we're really worried on the day-to-day how we are going to be able to pay for raw materials, pay daily wages, and really just survive. So some of the other issues we're really facing here in Zambia is access to affordable capital. In the best of times, when there's no crisis, capital is very expensive in Zambia. SMEs such as myself borrow at 30% per annum and in local currency, but it's really, really expensive. So in a crisis where everyone is already seeing dips in your cash flow, dips in, just the projections look very grim, everyone is kind of sitting back and saying, we're not sure, we want to take a bet on you during this period. And we're seeing liquidity dry up. Although there have been some interventions here in Zambia, the process is slow. It is really targeted at very large corporates who have a very strong balance sheet. For SMEs such as myself, we're kind of left trying to really convince people who impact funds or others to continue to lend to us so that we can get through this period. So that remains an issue for us. I think also we are seeing that our access to markets are now restricted. We sell a lot to the informal sector, but because of health concerns around health, we're having to kind of pull back our staff and say, sell to customers who, one, is a safe environment for you, and two, that you can get paid. So we're feeling the pinch of getting paid, but also our customers are feeling the pinch because they don't have money to buy our product. So we're also seeing a constraint on access to market as well. Supply chains are also very disrupted. Zambia sits in the middle of many countries, and we tend to import a lot of our raw materials, things like flavoring, packaging. Of course, our base raw materials fortunately for us at Java, are local. So your maize, your soy, your wheat, flour are all local, but your packaging is imported. And with the shutdown of countries around us, it has meant that there have been delays getting even things like micronutrients, which are really important for our nutritious foods. It has been delays of 4 to 5 weeks. Because South Africa was closed, and South Africa had a lockdown from the end of March, and it left us almost naked because we didn't know what to do. And remember, and for us who are trying to push the nutritional cereal, we were almost really concerned about if we were going to have a product we could produce to sell. Fortunately, now we're seeing an easing of the restrictions. We're also seeing the governments are talking to each other about how to better the supply chains, but still things are slow. And also for us, it means that you're trying to buy in bulk because you're just not sure if 2 weeks from now things are going to be reversed and you're stuck and you can't get product. But the problem with that, it means that you have to have money in order to sort of buy in bulk because your cash flow will be tied up in product. So it's really like a balancing act around cash, around about raw material purchasing, about supply chain issues. So things which, on a daily basis, we thought we got a grips with, we thought we now know how to get the business running. And now this idea of really just selling, pushing nutritional products to completely being pushed back and starting from zero. How do we get products in on time? How do we get the customer again to spend, to be confident enough to spend on these products? And how do we get cash flow strong? So this is what COVID has done for us here in Zambia. In terms of what we would like to see from organizations like PFS, I think to continue your technical support. Java has been a strong partner to PFS over the years. And as we developed our cereal, and now as we go into sort of the standards and certification of our processes. And we hope that will still continue even as things are slowing down, because we believe that you want to use this time for training and to just get better on certain things so that we can look at broader markets outside of Zambia. So I think that would be important. We would look to organizations such as yourself to see if you can pool software financing to countries such as Zambia and to organizations similar to myself who ordinarily wouldn't be able to access funding in this time, to see if there could be some form of grant funding longer term. And I say longer term because we are seeing some grant funding for 6 months, but the reality is that COVID is going to be around a little longer, and it will take longer for us to really ramp up. So looking for a little bit longer term financing and softer term so that people are able to begin to slowly ramp up businesses. So I think those are sort of things we will be looking for, and really technical support around really building much more robust businesses, how to manage risks and crises. Hopefully we won't see this again anytime soon, but I think it's really taught us, particularly the small businesses, some lessons. But there's a silver lining in all of this. I like to say, if we are serious, because now you really think that for food security, we must look internally. Because for Zambia as a net importer of food, this has actually put a lot of things, very difficult for the country. So if you build local capacity, local food production, make sure the value chain works, the country can be self-sufficient. So in my mind, this is a perfect opportunity to build the capacity of Zambian farmers, of producers, of retailers, in order to make sure certain key products remain accessible and affordable for Zambians. So a silver lining, but it's quite a challenge still, yeah.